Look, I know it's been a minute. I let you guys down. I know you guys subscribed for the top 5 coins. It's been like 3 months, 4 months. It's been almost a year, Basically, that's. Anyways. Hey, crypto friends. In this video, we're going to be discussing the top 5 coins I'm going to be invested in the month of March. First coin we're going to be looking at is, of course, Huobi. I got Huobi. Anyways, like I mentioned, the first coin that I'm looking at is, of course, Huobi. So I'm not going to get into too much technical of Huobi because they do offer the white paper, which you can go in and read it on their website, wanchain.io. But we're just going to cover the brief overview of what it's supposed to do. Huobi essentially is trying to combat the counterfeiting problem. It's a serious issue in China. Oftentimes, like they state here, people have died. They're trying to tackle it through RFID technology, trying to make a unique code on the blockchain, which is hard to penetrate. And if it's ever ripped off or trying to be misplaced, then it will be useless. Essentially that code will be destroyed and it cannot be counterfeited. There's different ways to try to combat it. If you can read it here, they go into complete details, how it works, how it's easily able to be scanned, and how it's also really effective and cheap to do. So essentially this could be a viable option with a working prototype pretty soon. For a lot of people, they say that this might not be a huge coin, but what makes it huge is the fact that you have to look at Chinese economy. Chinese thrives off products, manufacturing, mass wholesale, essentially wholesale. This is going to target the main wholesalers, potentially affects global. So to me, this has a lot of already potential behind it since they already have a working product and a lot to it. Not to mention, it has been, I would say, pumped by a lot of people in the past. Ian Bellina, of course, you also have Data Dash. So there's already a lot of support in the crypto community as a whole. But the reason I'm bringing it up right now is because if you look at the current circulating supply, Huobi is only at 45 million. Total supply is only 99 million. Now, that is not to say that Huobi is going to be a $100 coin anytime soon, but just looking at its all-time high, it's already at under 4x from its initial high. So just reinvesting it at a low where it's already almost oversold or, essentially holding support, then you're almost bound to, guaranteed to make those returns back. Of course, this isn't BitConnect, nothing is guaranteed. That's not what I'm trying to push at. But with a coin like this, there is strong potential. It is available on Binance. So if you guys are interested, check out Huobi. I recommend to do your own research, read the white paper, of course, and go into it deeply, because it really is important for you guys to understand the technology. Essentially, you guys are going to be the ones that are going to make cryptocurrency thrive, by understanding the technology behind it, not just looking at the numbers. So with that being said, let's go on to the next coin. The next coin on the list that we're looking at is Wanchain. This is probably the only coin on the list that's not available on exchanges just yet. But for those of you that don't know what Wanchain is essentially trying to be a large financial system. They're trying to implement their own exchanges, but for the most part, be a decentralized network for financial institutions. Essentially, Wanchain is trying to provide a decentralized open source network for commercial application. You guys are probably wondering to yourselves, like, Edward, we already have a commercial institutional coin out there. It's called Ripple. The difference between Wanchain and Ripple is actually pretty huge, pretty marginal. And that is that Ripple, for one, was already pre-mined from the start. That means that everybody behind the Ripple coin had already mined the coin. They hold majority stake, billions, large valuations, not necessary to create transactions. Wanchain, on the other hand, is open source. That means that anybody can go in there and really help improve the actual system itself. It's decentralized, so not one owner owns it. It is cross-chain smart contract platform. Not to mention, they also have wallets that provide multiple coins in their personal wallet, so you will be able to then cross-chain, like I mentioned right here, smart contracts. As you guys know, I am a huge fan of protocols, platforms that can provide a source for other ICOs to be on top of. Wanchain is planning on doing that, to provide ICOs on top of them with private transactions, cross-chain transactions. So that also means that if you guys are planning on doing masternodes, most likely Wanchain will provide that for you guys as well. So you guys will be able to mine Wanchain, possibility proof of stake, as well as masternodes. So that's going to be huge in that factor. Again, we mentioned private transactions. So this is going to be essentially Monero with REQ and Ethereum combined. This is going to be a huge coin in my opinion. At the time of this recording, they stated that their hard cap, that means that the total supply of coins, is going to be 210 million. One thing you should also look at is right now there's a lot of decentralized exchanges out there like Ether, Delta, that are already trading Wanchain. The problem is that Wanchain stated that they would actually dissolve those tokens. As far as I know, that number is actually far less than what you see here, which only makes it a lot more limited, which gives them bigger price action in the future. If you guys have already tokens, please do not trade them. Just saying, don't do that. Some of the coins that have the same amount of circulating supply tend to go for around $15 to $20 right off the jump. So I think this is going to be huge for Wanchain, especially for what's price action. Hopefully we can catch this under $1, and most likely we'll probably see pretty huge price action from there. So I'm really bullish on Wanchain. I'm hoping it hits exchanges, most likely Binance, potentially Qcoin. Something I should mention is that back when Wanchain had their ICO, Chinese actually ended up banning cryptocurrency. So a lot of the Chinese investors that wanted in, they had their funds returned, so they could not invest into Wanchain. Right now, there's a lot of hungry people out in the Asian community that's looking to invest into Wanchain. You have a lot of the Northern Americans looking to invest. So this is going to, I'm not trying to FOMO it, I really am not, but I'm just trying to state that there's people out there that are hungry for this coin. There's potential, and I think this is one of those coins that's going to do tremendously well on exchanges. So that's just my second pick, Wanchain. The third coin on the list is Dragonchain, founded by, wait, am I seeing that right? Disney? Like Mickey Mouse Disney? I'm just kidding. I already knew that. Anyways, Dragonchain is trying to focus on the business aspect. All right, they're trying to make smart contracts a little bit more obscure, because essentially smart contracts, they decentralized, it's open network, everything's everybody can see what's going on, which can be good. At the same time, it can also be bad, for departments such as like the health departments, also banks. But I mean, I don't like banks. Why am I even supporting this coin? I don't know. Oftentimes, businesses can have very sensitive data that may have legal risks behind them. So essentially, Dragonchain is trying to make this into what private transactions are, but to smart contracts. So then developers can come in there, develop whatever they're trying to do with their large marketplace. This is what I think makes Dragonchain so huge. The fact that it is developed by Disney. Disney themselves already have the right connections to to really expand this to large region areas like Amazon, perhaps Microsoft. Already Microsoft, I know that, is widely adopting cryptocurrency, but I mean possibly even more, So this is going to be a gateway for a lot of developers, in my opinion. Already, if you look at the team, because it is Disney, that already makes it a step ahead of the game. But you can see that Joe, he has been working with blockchain for a long time now, He started the company was started in 2015 through 2016. That's when they were developing Dragonchain. So this wasn't something that just came about, during the cryptocurrency boom. This has been in the works for a minute, When we look at Dragonchain, their circulating supply is 238 million, roughly around 240 million. They just kind of round up. If you look at their actual market cap, they're barely at $500 million market cap evaluation. So they still have quite a ways to grow before I think we could see maybe perhaps a slowdown, which again, with I believe cryptocurrency growing to a $20 trillion market cap by the end of this year, I really do think there's enough space for Dragonchain to really expand in the long run, especially with all the developers. But if you look at the price action at the current price, this is, honestly, this is going to be a $50 coin in the near future. This is going to be a coin with a lot of substance. When we hop on over to Qcoin, we can see that it held support really well during the fallback. You can see that its original support line was during the 0.016 Satoshi mark. It had consolidated tremendously, and then we can see it finally broke out of its trend line right here. It's starting to, we can see a little more breakout. Eventually, I think we should see some large price action during this time. What gives me bullish about the alts during this time around is that typically when Bitcoin rallies up, a lot of alts tend to fall down. In this case, we're seeing another way around. I think we're seeing everything going up. Bitcoin's going up, alts are starting to go up as well. So everything's kind of going to explode. So I really should expect Dragonchain to do well in the month of March. The next coin on the list is going to be Request Network. Right off the bat, when I first read this, a decentralized network for payment processing, payment request, it didn't really interest me because it felt like a lot of coins nowadays, that's what they were trying to aim, payment processing, payment. Like it felt like it wasn't anything new. That was until I scrolled down and you actually take a look into what Request Network really is. And that is more so a decentralized, obscured way, I guess, just more direct way of doing payment processing. It says that you don't have to actually share your banking information. That's huge. That right there changes everything. The whole point of cryptocurrency was to be a decentralized way so you guys don't have to kind of obscure away from it. Banks, I want to say useless. We're not really going to utilize them as much. So I think this is a step in the right direction, in my opinion, for us to have a direct payment processing where suddenly everything just goes directly to you. Also, because there are no third parties, that means that they don't take commission from it. So everything goes directly to you. Personally, Since I have a course, I use PayPal, and I can tell you right now the commissions, they take up large fees. The payment processing takes forever. It takes you like 3 to 4 weeks for you to receive any foreign payments. So it just becomes a hassle. And for this to be directly instantaneous, no direct connection to the banks, it really leverages and takes everything into account and makes it so much more simple, in my opinion. If you actually look at their team, it's really huge, really good team. We can look at the LinkedIn accounts, but what actually makes it huge to me, in my opinion, is the fact that the coins they utilize. You have a 0x. To me, 0x is a huge coin. Kyber Network, Aragon, even Civic. Civic is a huge proponent in cryptocurrency as well. QuantStep. So it's already well tied to cryptocurrency, other coins out there. You can check out their white paper. I think they lay it out pretty seamlessly as to what they're trying to do, the whole ecosystem, the platform. From the front-facing value, request center doesn't seem like a huge deal, but it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be really simple, in my opinion. That's what the idea behind it is, that it simplifies payment processing. With e-commerce being such a large industry out there, it's a billion-dollar industry. I think this is going to help revolutionize this to make this much more simpler. And I think over time, request center is going to have a place in the market. I think it already does. It's going to eventually replace giants like PayPal, Stripe, and so on and so forth. So I am really bullish on Request Network. The last coin on the list is the one and only NEO. I've been talking about NEO for a long time now. It's almost going to be a year since I first started investing into it, and I can tell you right now, I'm still so bullish on this, very strong. I don't mean to push this coin so much because I've been investing for such a long time, trying to get FOMO into it, but rather because I truly believe into the network. Since its inception, since I can remember, they have been a very ambitious team. They've always had a lot of growth behind them. And you can see that during midway from last year, 2017 to now, they have really pushed so much to get to where they are today. NEO tries to collaborate with a lot of the applications out there. So Trinity. Trinity is an off-chain scalability for NEO. Essentially Ethereum's off-chain, again, scalability for NEO with much better transaction speeds than even the Lightning Network itself. That alone makes it so much better for NEO. In the future, I believe that NEO is also going to have directly 100,000 TPS transactions per second by 2020. You also have NEX, a decentralized exchange. Apex is empowered, essentially, data for ownership for consumer apps, for DDApps. I'm not a huge fan of DDApps, but it's going to be a staple in cryptocurrency in the future for large corporations. So they are trying to essentially connect it all together for the smart contract to come into one. Eventually, you're going to have OST. It's essentially trying to do what Dragonchain is trying to do, and that is to make it into more secure transactions, smart contracts for large corporations such as the health departments and so forth and so on. They're always constantly updating their clients, their wallets. They have, again, on top of that, their gas coins that pay out, proof of stake, which helps secure the network. Over the past couple of months, NEO has been stepping up its game. You can see its evaluation has been slowly growing, beating out that of a IOTA, EOS. Eventually, it's going to catch up to Cardano. I expect it to be hand in hand with Ethereum. I'm not to say that it's going to catch up to Ethereum's price action, but seeing the amount of ICOs under its belt in the amount of stuff that's coming out in 2018, I really do expect to see NEO jump huge evaluations in its market cap, more than double. Like I mentioned before, I expect cryptocurrency's market cap to increase to a $10 to $20 trillion market cap by the end of this year. So I really do see huge hopes for NEO in that. One thing you should also be looking at is, of course, its charts. Look, let me give you an example here. Back in 2017, midway, when it had its rebranded, it had a huge evaluation, a lot of pump, because back then people, I would say, didn't necessarily know what NEO was doing, but they just, you had people saying that this was going to be China's Ethereum, so most people invested into it. It had a huge hype, but look at this time around. That right there, if that doesn't tell you that there's enough garnering attention for NEO, then I don't know what does. A lot of people behind NEO right now that are invested into it have large support behind it. They firmly believe into the project, and you can see it's already halfway its correction phase. Literally, this could probably potentially drop down below to the 0.001 Satoshi mark down here, which is roughly around $100, $90, and even then it would still have huge evaluations, and I expect it to increase in price action tremendously. It only needs a little bit more step below before we can see this boom once again, but it's holding so well. Even in Bitcoin comparative, it's already beat out Bitcoin, because this has had huge evaluation. I'm just really bullish overall on Neo from the chart standpoint, from its fundamentals, from the team developers. I have been for a long time, and I will always continue to push this coin. So, you know, until I see something that says, hey, maybe potentially there's something better out there. But for me, I really do think that Neo deserves to be number one. You know, I really do think that they have a lot going for them. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys enjoy the content, please go hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Before I end this video, I also do provide a crash course below. So if you guys are interested in learning how to trade cryptocurrencies and being part of a large community, please go check it out. You know, it's in the link below. Also, I include a free PDF to get you guys started, you guys to check out, as well as go check out my social media links. Go follow me on my Instagram, my Twitter, my Snapchat. With that being said, I'll see you guys on the next one.
Huobi, 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 Huobi. Fuck you, man. I got Wanchain, Huobi, Neo.